Dollar. Dirt and money, no soul. Had to go and get it, ain't no time to kick it. Got a stack and flip for my foes. Dollar. Please tell me you can hear me. Don't turn your back and don't neglect me. Just let me know if you need me. Dollar. Let me watch out for my partners. Keep my money long, get my team strong. Let me run away from my problems.
Yo, what's good, original crew, man? We're back. Hey, man, we're back on the channel with another body cam. Today's body. Body cam, man. We got a hidden camera catches killer 23 years later. That's a long time, man. When you thought you got away with a crime. Hey, with that being said, before we get into it, make sure y'all check out the links in the description box.
Down below.
You already know where to go if you want to first support. All you got to do is check out down below. Also, if you enjoyed today's video,
like it with a thumbs up.
Hey, let's get into this. Let's check this out. Let's see what's about. You ready? You got some paper?
On October 2nd, 2019, two detectives entered the Visalia Mall in California looking for a man named Mr. Stain.
Hi, is Mr. Stain in?
Mr. Stain?
Yes. Hi, I'm Mr. Stain. My name is Vince Zavala. As Bob showed it.
Are they at Raising Cane's?
Hi, I'm Mr. Stain. My name is Vince Zavala. As Bob showed us.
This is 52-year-old Nicky Dwayne Stain, the manager of Charlie's Philly Cheesesteaks. Nick has been hiding a terrible secret for over 2 decades, but he isn't the only one hiding something. After hearing the detectives' names, Nick just realized that his dark past has finally come back to haunt him.
We're doing some grunt work here. We're looking into a matter that happened a while ago. Take 5 minutes. Okay. That's fine.
Detective Zavala, with his hidden camera still rolling, sat down and showed Nick an old photo of a young woman.
Have you ever seen that girl? Nope. Nope. You don't know her? Okay. You've never committed any violence against her?
No, I haven't done anything. I don't know her, so I wouldn't know how to.
Yeah. So have you never committed violence against anybody?
No violence against anybody.
Her name was Debbie Dorian. She was found murdered. You didn't kill her, did you?
No.
Nick continued to deny any involvement in this murder. However, he was extremely standoffish when he was asked to provide his DNA.
We've been asking everybody we talked to if they would voluntarily give us an oral swab to compare to evidence that's at this scene. But if you haven't been there, I mean, you know, it's just kind of a mundane thing.
Yeah, it sounds like, I don't know, that sounds like, I don't know if I want to do that.
Clearly, he didn't plan on cooperating, so the detectives ended the interview and Nick kindly escorted them outside. He chatted with them for a bit longer and wished them luck with their investigation.
Yeah, I hope you find him.
I hope we do catch the guy, and thank you. Have a good day.
But the detectives had one last secret. The entire building was surrounded by officers.
267 to the arrest team, stand by.
Nicky Stain.
Hi.
Put your hands behind your
Where
back.
was he going anyway?
Where was he about to go?
He wasn't going back inside. He about to get in the car. Oh, the shit, there they called. They on me. What the?
Nicky Stain.
Hi.
Put your hands behind your back. Turn around, man.
Nick pretended he had no idea what was going on as he was handcuffed and put into the back of a police cruiser. Months before this arrest, Fresno and Tulare County authorities reopened the murder case of 22-year-old Debbie Dorian, which had remained unsolved for 23 years.
Go ahead, ma'am. My husband just called and went to his daughter's apartment. She didn't show, and he found her dead in her apartment. Okay, tell me what your daughter's name is. Her name is Deborah Dorian.
Family members and neighbors say Debbie Dorian, a Fresno State student, worked hard and had plans to specialize in audiology. According to police, Debbie's dad found her body in her bedroom early this morning.
She was lying face up. Her mouth and nose had been taped shut with some gray-colored tape that prevented her from breathing.
Using the killer's DNA collected from Debbie's body, they constructed a family tree, and through the process of elimination, they were able to pinpoint exactly who the DNA belonged to. This led them to Nick, a 52-year-old divorced father of 2 and a longtime resident of Visalia. After escorting him to the police department, they sat down for an interview, hoping to elicit a confession and expose this wolf in sheep's clothing. However, before they could even ask him about Debbie, Nick immediately caught them off guard by confessing to another set of horrific crimes.
Nick, do you know why you're here today?
Yeah, I do know why I'm here. I know I've done a couple things that here in Visalia that I shouldn't have done.
So when you say a couple things in Visalia, what are the couple things that you're talking about?
Oh, there's a couple of times that I approached women that out on the street that, and stuff and coerced them into having some final. And so those are things I shouldn't have done.
Against their will?
Yes.
The detectives pulled up their reports from the crimes they suspected Nick was referring to and read them to him one by one, trying to corroborate his confession.
Suspect pulled sweatshirt over his face and then placed handgun in her side. He escorted the victim and concealed their location behind some bushes.
That might have happened. I think that one happened.
She was standing alone waiting to catch a bus. Suspect approached the victim. Suspect told the victim not to run or he would kill her.
I say that sounds like me, but I don't think that was me.
Nick took full responsibility for 4 separate assaults and showed no signs of remorse.
Do you recall what you wore during those?
I recall wearing a hoodie or something like that.
When they asked Nick why he would commit such vile crimes, he said that his past trauma had led him down the wrong path.
So, I kind of had some bad things that go on in my life, and I could say that I've had a problem with I guess, addiction. If you have my phone, you'll be able to see that because it has like 400 videos on it. Probably 100 different women.
Nick's addiction resulted in a strange lifestyle where everything he did revolved around getting attention from women. This is evident when looking at his digital footprint. The detectives found his secret Facebook profile under the alias Nick Steele, the chairman of a Fortune 500 company who lived a lavish lifestyle, drinking and partying with a multitude of women. Nick would often invite these women back to his place and lead them to his bedroom, which he had converted into what some may call a playroom.
I had saw pictures of the type.
Oh, he got like a 50 Shades of...
The dark rooms on the internet. I said I wanted to paint it that way. Now everybody sees it. Says
Yeah,
it's
right.
great.
Nick admitted that these women were mostly escorts. Apparently, he had been paying for these services ever since he was in high school.
But had so many encounters with women. I'm talking about like paid for encounters or this or that, or like start chatting with them, and then all the next thing we know, we're doing something. To tell you the truth, I don't really think that hiring an escort or having a sugar babe or anything like that, I personally don't think that that's a wrong thing. I'm a single guy for the last 2 years, and it seems like really the only women that pay me any attention are the younger ones.
After telling the detectives all about his promiscuous lifestyle, he finally addressed the main reason he was there.
The detectives there today before you guys arrested me, you brought up an interesting case. One that, it does shock me.
Although Nick initially claimed he had no clue who Debbie was.
Have you ever seen that girl?
Nope.
Nope. You don't know her?
He must have had a change of heart.
What you said, because he did look at it.
You didn't even look at it good enough. Nope.
He ain't studied. Sometimes you gotta, especially it's been 23 years, you might have to look at it and be like, you're like, and then so when you be like, you processing everybody, you probably like, damn, does she look like this person? So he looked at it. Nope. You didn't even let it process. That's insane, bro.
After being thrown into the interrogation room, because Nick now claimed that he did, in fact, know Debbie quite intimately.
I was with that girl, several times and stuff like that.
You were?
Yes, I was. So, to be honest with you, she was, I picked her up in Fresno there on the street there at one time. After I dropped her off, I thought that was going to be the last time I seen of her. Okay. And then she, found her way to my workplace. On other occasions and asked me if I, would want to again.
This was the first time that the detectives had heard of Debbie having a secret double life as an escort. The question is, does the evidence align with this story? And if Nick didn't murder Debbie, then who did? Before Debbie was murdered back in 1996.
Maybe he's trying to use that as the excuse why his DNA would be there.
Yeah, that's the point. Yeah.
Yeah, the whole reason why. not saying this is Debbie's lifestyle, but a lot of parents don't know. Sometimes their kids do live double lifestyles when their kids are off and not around it. You know what I'm saying? So you might be like, oh no, my kid's just at school. So a lot of kids go off to school but behind closed doors they are doing things because college costs. You know what I'm saying? That a lot of them want fast money, quick fast money. Not saying that's what Debbie. You know what I'm saying? But to try to use that, and then he built up the story of the escorts already to try to paint the picture of like I've been doing this.
Mm-hmm.
She was trying to find someone to split her rent with and had a list of potential roommates that she had recently interviewed. One of the people on this list, named Alvin, called the police when he heard about Debbie's murder because he was one of the last people to see her. It turned out that he had already signed a lease and was going to move in. But the detectives became suspicious of Alvin when they looked into his background and discovered that he was a registered offender. They immediately brought him in for questioning.
Detective Garcia's the interview with Alvin. What did you do when you went there? I knocked on the door. She invited me in. What time was it that you got there? It was 6, 7. You told me something about the door knock. You remember what that was? It was on Wednesday night. I knocked on the door. Nobody answered. The blinds were open. The TV was on. He told me what I could see on the wall. And when I knocked on the door, nobody answered. I tried the door. Like 4 times, the door was unlocked.
Alvin claimed that he didn't go inside her apartment, but the detectives found it strange that he would open the door at all. However, Alvin said that his friend Maurice was with him and could vouch for him, so they brought Maurice in for questioning as well.
So you've never seen this girl, don't know what she looks like, never talked to her? No, not from all this started happening at first. You know, I never seen her or just heard her voice on the phone. And then recently, like when we were talking, I've seen a picture on the news.
Although this interview was initially set up to corroborate Alvin's story, the detectives wondered if Maurice could be involved in the murder as well. Since Debbie was discovered bound at the hands and feet, they asked him if he had ever tied someone up. He said that he wasn't really into that sort of thing, and the only duct tape he bought recently was to repair his punching bag.
I think I have a receipt for it in my checkbook. I bought 2 things of duct tape to tie up the ends of the rope.
But at this point, the detective interviewing him hadn't specifically mentioned duct tape at all, and that detail hadn't been released to the public yet. So why would Maurice volunteer that information? Following the interview, they compared Maurice's DNA to the DNA on Debbie's body, and although it wasn't a perfect match, they were unable to rule him out as a suspect.
Our investigation is that you were the one that did this.
No, I am not the one who did this. I have nothing to do with this at all. How many times I have to keep telling you, I did not go inside this apartment. I do not know this person. I never met her.
They believed that Maurice was lying about his involvement, so he was charged with Debbie's murder.
Maurice, you have to understand something. Okay, you're under arrest for murder.
As legal proceedings got underway, it seemed that the police investigation into Debbie's killer was over.
An arrest was made in the death of Deborah Dorian.
I think it's great. I mean, hopefully it's the right person.
However, this arrest didn't align with some of the most crucial evidence. One of Debbie's neighbors came forward and said that he saw her answer the door for a white male after Maurice and Alvin left her apartment.
He walked up the stairs. He basically knocked on the door, and it wasn't a confrontational kind of encounter, but she let him in.
Also, Maurice had an explanation for why he brought up the duct tape during his interview.
What made you mention that? Somebody mentioned duct tape or something like that. Do you have any duct tape or do you know anything about duct tape or something? When was that? That was when I first came to the question.
This explanation was never verified by the police. They also tested the duct tape at his house and determined that it wasn't even the same kind of duct tape that was used on Debbie. On top of all of this took place less than a year after the high-profile O.J. Simpson trial, which heavily revolved around DNA. So there was a lot of pressure on the police to be thorough and accurate with their DNA testing. The authorities felt obliged to redo Maurice's DNA test, and this time they were able to rule him out as a suspect. His charges were dropped, and he was once again a free man.
Maurice Dixon walked into court shackled at the hands and feet. He had been in custody for a little more than 2 weeks. Tonight, he is free, and the investigation into the Debbie Dorian murder case returns to square one.
Right now, we don't want to comment at anything at this time. We're just happy that he's being released.
Although this was good news for Maurice and his family, they were well aware of what this meant for Debbie's family and the rest of the community.
We know that there's someone out there that have committed this crime, and basically the city is afraid again. We know it's hard on her family also because they have to go through it again, waiting to see who they may arrest next.
Every time something like this happens, it's like pulling the scab off a wound.
Our future's been taken away. We will not see a wedding. We will not see grandchildren. She will not get to have a life. The one thing we can do, and the one thing we strive to do, is to get the person who did this.
Debbie's killer proceeded to terrorize Fresno and Tulare County for the next 6 years. The DNA found on Debbie's body was tied to at least 8 other assault cases between 1996 and 2002.
We feel he's a predator. You never know when he's going to get the urge to hit again. You never know if he's going to escalate or whether he's going to go back to something else. He could strike at any time.
There is some very evil, demented predator out there.
The only significant lead during this time was another person on Debbie's list of potential roommates, someone named Nick. However, they were unable to figure out who this person was until 2019.
Excuse me.
And that's how they actually met. He tried to say she was an escort.
But she was just looking for someone to be a roommate with.
And that's how you was able to... You wanted to say, what? Y'all was able to verify everybody else, but not him? You probably could have caught him on...
And I wonder, like, why not since you had his name? Was it a number or was the number wrong?
It did look like something was scratched.
Because you only have
Nick. Oh, it said Nick or
Rick.
She probably didn't know, like, and had him cross.
And then, like, Alvin, you actually have his number, but with Nick, I don't know what's on the other side. Yeah.
They were unable to figure out who this person was until 2019.
I did wrong, okay? And even the things that I did back, in here in Visalia, that those things are haunting me forever. But the thing in Fresno there, I didn't know that went down. I didn't know that happened. I didn't feel remorse for that or anything like that or anything because I didn't know that it happened.
Nick refused to admit that he had any part in Debbie's murder and continued to claim that any intimate encounters with her were consensual. But as far as the detectives were concerned, Nick's claims of innocence held no weight. He was charged for the 4 assaults that he admitted to, as well as the first-degree murder of Debbie Dorian. They collected his fingerprints and DNA, and he was booked into the Tulare County Jail.
Nicky Dwayne Stain is the primary suspect in the rape and murder of Debbie Dorian.
Nicky Stain is every woman's nightmare. He appears to be a regular person, and he is a predator.
I don't know if Debbie's family will ever have closure. My hope, our hope, is at the very least we have provided answers to the family, and the person responsible for these unimaginable crimes will finally feel the total weight of our Justice Department. Thank you.
At Nick's arraignment hearing, he pled not guilty to all of his charges. So, the prosecutors began preparing for the preliminary hearing, where the judge would decide if Nick's case would go to a full-on trial. During this preparation phase, Nick remained behind bars and made several interesting phone calls to his friends and family.
This call is from a correction facility and is subject to monitoring and recording.
Can you hear me, Nick?
Yeah, I can hear you. You know what? Those hurt people and things like that was in my past. I know I need to get punished for it. I just know that I'll be here the rest of my life.
Nick left little room for interpretation as he confessed to his crimes, but his friend couldn't seem to grasp what he was saying.
But you're innocent till you're proven guilty in my book. You know what you did, we don't. We're going to say that you're innocent until they prove otherwise, my opinion. That's the way America works.
Hello?
Hello, Mom.
Are you innocent of any of those crimes?
No, not really, Mom. I was kind of like involved in all of them. I'm guilty. I'm guilty. I did some bad things. I'm not trying to kind of like hide them. I mean, I'm ashamed of them, but they're there now. So it's just like, quit running from it. Just take it.
The prosecutors knew they struck gold after hearing these phone calls and made them a focal point during Nick's preliminary hearing on November 28th, 2023.
He said 20 years ago he had done some bad things and hurt some people, and he needed to pay for what he did. She said.
And honestly, Debbie probably wasn't the first and probably wasn't the only.
No.
I'm talking about a victim of the... But I'm wondering if she's the only one that he murdered. That's the biggest question I have, though. Is she the only one that you took the life of? What would you think?
But that I can't say. I possibly don't know. I'm just gonna say yeah. I'm just gonna say yeah for now, but we do know that he's done other stuff. He's owned up to that, and then with DNA, they linked him to 8 other cases. So.
Because reason why I'm saying it, what made her be the one that you took the life of?
True. Don't know.
Why her?
Yeah.
And why not? Why, what made you escalate to that point, but never again escalate to that point? Or have you escalated to that point, but you if they can't catch it, then I ain't going to.
Yeah.
Because some people be like, I admit to the assaults, but I ain't going to admit to the murders.
Yeah.
Just admit to it all.
That he had been struggling with demons all his life, and he said, I can't say I don't deserve what's coming to me, because I do.
They went through the rest of the evidence as well, including his interrogation, the DNA tests, and Debbie's list of potential roommates.
And what does it say by number 6?
By number 6, it has the name Nick, and then scratched out or Rick.
They even tracked down the witness who saw Nick on Debbie's doorstep.
Do you see that person in the courtroom today?
Yes.
And could you point at him and tell me what color he's wearing?
Right now?
Yes.
Red.
Debbie's father was then called to the stand to describe the moment he discovered his daughter's dead body.
It was so shocking to me that I knew I had to maintain composure somewhat and not just fall apart.
Perhaps the most powerful testimony for the state was from one of Nick's first assault victims. Although this victim's testimony wasn't recorded in order to protect her identity during the trial, Jane Doe number 1 has since revealed that her name is Beth, hoping to inspire other survivors to come forward and get the help they need.
For decades, Central California has known her only as Jane Doe number 1, a victim. But she is a survivor, one of several women Nikki Stain assaulted after he killed Debbie Dorian in 1996.
And I stayed quiet, I didn't know the words to express without crying.
Court hearings were slow and forced her to relive her pain. She has found comfort in a therapy dog.
Dogs are so calming.
Even with a mountain of evidence against them, Nick's defense team claimed that he never explicitly confessed to Debbie's murder, even during the Jailhouse phone calls, suggesting that this was just a repeat of what happened with Maurice Dixon. On the stand, Fresno County detectives wouldn't even admit that Maurice Dixon's arrest was a mistake.
So that's a mistake.
I'm not going to say it's a mistake, no.
You refuse to say that arresting the wrong man on faulty lab work is a mistake? Did you get the right
He
guy?
was eventually cleared.
Yeah, so
Yeah.
he was the wrong guy.
This strengthened the defense's point that the county will do anything to secure a conviction, even if the evidence isn't reliable and they actually have the wrong guy. But in the end, the defense couldn't convince the judge to drop the charges. She decided that the state had enough evidence for a full trial by jury.
The defendant is held to answer on all counts and charges.
The prosecutors announced that they were going to pursue the death penalty, and Nick's trial was eventually set to take place in early 2026. However,
that's what I was saying earlier, because I didn't know if California had the death penalty or not. I didn't know. Did it? Yeah, I should have known that. I feel like, because they do have a lot of high profile cases and stuff. I didn't know 100%. And I feel like that's the reason why I felt like he wouldn't admit to a lot of other things.
Yeah.
Oh, he's not trying to admit, like, because I admit to assaults, because how long you're gonna give me for assaults?
Yeah.
I can see it outdate, but the murder, also with the assaults, that's multiple
facts.
Nick's trial was eventually set to take place in early 2026.
Ooh.
However, in March of 2025, Nick's defense attorney Jane Bolger warned the Supreme Court that she would no longer be representing Nick if they didn't pay her more money.
And that is not lightly done. He needs to have effective counsel, and effective counsel needs to be able to work so many hours and days. In 5 years, I've been paid $43,000 for a death penalty case.
If Bolger withdraws, the county would have to find new attorneys for Stain, which would mean additional years of delay.
It would take 3 years to go through everything.
Thankfully, Debbie's family wouldn't have to wait that long for a trial, because a couple months later, on May 15th, 2025, Nick unexpectedly pled guilty to all of his charges.
First degree murder.
Guilty.
Sexual battery by restraint. Guilty or no contest?
Guilty, sir.
He pled guilty not just to avoid the death penalty, but to
avoid the death
be
penalty.
accountable, and also for the families not to have
He wasn't
To
trying to
avoid,
take
if
any
that was the case, he would have
accountability.
did that from the jump to avoid the death penalty.
Because she probably told him, this is not looking good. It wasn't looking good for him anyway.
And she didn't want, and her thing was, if y'all ain't gonna pay me more, I'm not about to fight for him. So, hey, I ain't about to fight for you. You ain't trying to pay me.
Also,
so.
with her being a woman, too. Because this is kind of... I've seen this in other cases where women, especially a women assault case or anything like that, they're like, hey, this is a bad representation for me to represent you when I'm you know what I'm saying? So they be trying to find a way to kind of remove themselves from the case. Do I blame them? No, it's up to you. But also, this is the profession you signed up for, so you know what comes with it. But on the other hand, he wasn't trying to take accountability for it, bro. He was just trying to escape the death penalty because he did not want to go through that.
to be accountable, and also for the families not to have to go through a trial.
Although Nick's defense tried to portray this as Nick taking accountability, behind the scenes, it was clear that this was not the case. When Nick's attorney initially proposed a plea deal, he only wanted to plead guilty to Debbie's murder and wanted all of the assault charges to be dropped. But the prosecutors held their ground, and Nick ultimately agreed to plead guilty to all charges, as long as he was protected from the death penalty. Debbie's family knew that Nick's decision was purely for his own benefit, but were still...
Because if he only... Because you can only get him the death penalty off of if he had all the charges. Because if he only pled guilty to the murder, he knew then I can't get death just solely off of that. Well, could have, because they could still say it was a murder. Well, he only wanted the murder charge.
Yeah.
Because he assaulted her and murdered her. So he
But it was
only...
so crazy. You didn't even want to own up to that in the beginning. You just wanted to, but now all of a sudden, no, it was all for yourself. You didn't care about her family or taking accountability or any of that.
It was all trying to figure out how to escape the death penalty.
That's it.
Debbie's family knew that Nick's decision was purely for his own benefit, but were still grateful that Debbie's killer was finally being locked up.
He admitted to what he did, and we don't have to prove it or argue it or debate it. It's done.
We asked what Dorian would think.
She's going, Yahoo, Mom. Yeah.
Nick's sentencing hearing took place on June 12th, 2025. Before the judge would announce his punishment, several people were given the opportunity to give an impact statement, including Jane Doe number 1, aka Beth.
My life changed forever that day. I tried moving on. I have tried to forget, to be every man within. I was always scared, having these thoughts in my head, and flashbacks, the night playing over and over again in my head. I didn't care about my future. As far as I knew it, I didn't have one.
Debbie's mom was next up to the podium, and she expressed the pain and grief that she was forced to endure.
I have suffered days, months, and years of pain. 29 Christmases and almost 29 birthdays. The first thing you think of when you wake up is, Deb is dead. How do you live when a joy of your life has been extinguished?
She then read a passage that she had written from Debbie's perspective.
Adrenaline flooded my body. I screamed and screamed, but he didn't stop. He wrapped my head in duct tape, covering my mouth. I couldn't breathe. everything went dark. I knew my life was over. I would never take a hike with John, the love of my life, spend time with my mom. I wouldn't have a wedding. I wouldn't be a beautiful bride. My dad wouldn't walk me down the aisle. I knew my death would break my mom's heart and change my dad forever. The pain that they suffer is deeper than anyone can know.
Despite the tragic circumstances, she ended her impact statement with a silver lining.
Though he took my precious Deb, he did not take my soul. I am wiser and stronger than ever from having to go through this ordeal. He has the rest of his life to pay for what he did, and he will pay for his evil actions.
In the end, Nikki Dwayne Stain was given a life sentence without the possibility of parole.
At this point, sir, you are remanded in the custody of Franklin County Sheriff to begin serving your time.
He currently resides at the California Medical Facility in Vacaville and will spend the rest of his natural life with the California Department of Corrections.
You know, I planted a tree the Christmas after Deborah was killed, and that tree is 50 feet tall and 3 feet around. That's a long time to grow. It reminds me of how long it's been that we've been working on this case.
After decades of pain, perseverance, and unwavering determination, we can finally say that justice, at least some kind of justice, has been served for Debbie Dorian and her family and the other survivors of the monster that is Nikki Stain.
Oh, that wasn't it.
Well, I tell her I love her every day, so I think she knows. And, you know, you miss seeing her wedding. You miss seeing the holidays. You miss, what did she grow up? What would she look like? You know, she was a feisty, wonderful person. You knew when Deb came in the room, she was beautiful. And, yeah, that's just the way she was. Yeah.
Sad case,
That
bro.
was a sad case. Very sad case. Rest in peace to Debbie. My heart goes out to all the other victims. Yeah,
Because she got a lot of victims.
A lot. So my heart goes out to them.
And it's still so much in the back of my mind of, is there another like unclaimed, unsolved murder that he's behind?
Could be.
And I just don't think that was a one and done. 23 years, you got away with it?
Yeah.
And you tell me you never done that again?
Definitely could be. It's all up to any cold cases to pull them.
DNA.
And match DNA and stuff like that. Could have. He didn't even want to own up to that, so definitely could be others.
Yeah. The thing is, shout out to the advancement of technology, bro, with the DNA testing. We've been seeing lately a lot of cases being solved because of the advancement of technology.
Right.
And without that, we wouldn't have a lot of answers, bro.
Yeah.
Still be questioning a lot.
Yeah.
And a lot of people still be getting away with heinous crimes.
True.
But y'all spend what's up, man. Let us know y'all thoughts about it for us in the comments down below, man. But until next time, y'all know how it go, man. I do go by the name DJ New Kid. This is
Sierra Nicole.
We are.
Kid and C.
We out.
Peace.
No time to kick it, got a stack of flip for my folks. Dollar.